Hey brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey sister, know the water's sweet but blood is thicker. Oh, when the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. Hey brother, do you still believe in one another? Hey sister, do you still believe in love, I wonder? Oh, when the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. And if I'm far from home, oh brother, I will hear your call. And if I lose it all, oh sister, I will help you out. Oh, when the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. Hey brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey sister, do you still believe in love, I wonder? Oh, when the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. And if I'm far from home, oh brother, I will hear your call. And if I lose it all, oh sister, I will help you out. Oh, when the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you.
Would you please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen? We're about to go live around the world, so please take your seats. Okay? Okay. Pray order, please, pray order. Thank you very much indeed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome to Ford Hall Farm on this very special 10th anniversary occasion. We are already being joined and watched by people in South Africa, Australia and China. So as the cameras rove around the auditorium, will you please give them all a wave? Hooray! And for those in the Northern Hemisphere, can you use the other hand and wave to them as well, in France and Europe? Europe, you remember Europe? We used to belong to that once upon a time. My name is Chris Eldenley. I'm the current chairman of Ford Hall Farm. I also whistle for a living, and I have been for the last 7 or 8 years. And I was first connected with Ford Hall Farm in 1991 when I met dear old Arthur and wrote a play about him called Arthur's Plough. So that's been a long time. But it's great to be here tonight to welcome you all to this celebration of the 10th anniversary of the saving of Ford Hall Farm. Yeah! May I first of all please apologise for the jacket. I was carrying a tray of mint and pea canapes and there was a slight accident. I was also told to wear something distinctive so I could be pointed out. So here I am in my green jacket and tie and shirt. I've got one or two house notices to make first of all. So if you are requiring the loo, there are of course the usual compost toilets, which are warm this time of the evening. But there are also 2 special Portaloo toilets which are over my left shoulder. Or if you're watching in China and South Africa, they're over my right shoulder. And if you want to use them, they'll be here still in 3 days' time, so you can make it just in time. I'd like to thank Jake for providing the music to us whilst we ate and arrived. Big round of applause for Jake, please. And we are now lighting the candles because we are a venue that can afford to buy new candles when they've worn down. All right. That was Rachel, yes, who was heckling already. We've only been going for 2 minutes. All of you here tonight have a very special role in the history of the saving of Fordhall Farm. And what we hope to do over the next 90 minutes or so is to reflect that back to you with some previously unseen, secret video diary footage of what really happened in the run-up to the saving of Fordhall Farm. This is footage you've never seen before. It's all been carefully edited to remove the naughty bits. We've left one swear word in just to make sure that you realise we did swear occasionally, those who were here at the time. And we'll be delivering that to you in dollops as we go along. And also I'll be inviting onto the stage and talking to some of the people who are deeply involved in the saving of Fordhall and who've joined us since, including our youngest shareholder. Ooh. But to say thank you to you, apart from providing you with this luxurious evening in this fabulous centrally heated, thermally insulated marquee, we also have on the table before you a little favour, a party take-home bag. Have you spotted these yet? Can you see it on the camera? Yeah? On the back is a little packet of wildflower seeds you take home and plant in your garden. And there's a poem, a thank you poem, which I'd like to share with you. We would like to say cheers for Fordhall's last 10 years. Welcome to this affair to celebrate your share. May Fordhall's fields and all they yield continue to appeal. And I'd like to thank Pam Ayres for the poem. There are several thank yous and we'll sprinkle them out throughout the evening, but the big one I'd like to say first of all is a great thank you to a lovely lady called Viv Watkins, who's one of our key volunteers over the years. And Viv has been very instrumental in preparing this for you to look at. And if our cameraman there in the middle would kindly turn to his right, he can pan to this fantastic... Look at that, isn't that wonderful? This is the patchwork tapestry made from the little squares you've all sent us over the last few weeks, squares and triangles, fabric sent in by shareholders representing what Fordhall Farm means to you. And Viv Watkins has spent weeks, 24/7, sewing all the fabric together. In fact, she's a slip of a girl now. She's lost so much weight. To create this fantastic collage, along with some support from Chris Shaw from the office. So well done. A huge thank you to both Viv and to Chris, and for all those of you who sent us patchwork quilt squares. Thank you very much indeed. Now, for those of you actually here at Fordhall tonight, outside the marquee, over my left shoulder, on the way to the toilets, are 3 giant soil creatures. They're not props from Doctor Who. They were funded through the Wild Play Appeal, and they'll be there available for children to play with over the summer here at Fordhall Farm. And there will be donation envelopes with gift aid declarations available to you on your tables. And you can put donations in your jar, which are going to be spread around the marquee this evening. And this is all to raise money for the Haven Appeal, because tonight we're launching our next appeal here at Fordhall Farm, and Charlotte will explain that to us a little bit later on. But that's what the envelopes and the jars are for, even though now some of them seem to have candles in them. So no paper money, please. And of course you can leave your messages, your thoughts, your comments, your ideas in the visitors book, which is situated at the table by the entrance to the marquee. The other appeal we're doing right now is a very simple penny appeal. You can post as a penny. This is going to go out, this appeal, with the annual review, which has just come back from the publishers, so we'll be able to send those out very shortly. And the idea that is that you'll be able to send us a penny, and from this penny, with all the pennies we get in, we're going to commission an artist to create a sculpture of a farmer, looking young and athletic and with freshly cut hair, father of 1 child, another one on the way. Who could it be? Cheshire accent. The idea is the sculpture will present the power of small action. So by sending us a penny each, we can create this sculpture of a living farmer, rather like 10 years ago when you sent us £50 each, and look what happened. all those £50 got put together to raise £800,000, more than £800,000, as the truth will be revealed tonight, which has saved this farm for posterity. And the great news is that 10 years later, we're still here! And a big thank you also to the youth project workers who made the welcome banner, which was over the gateway as you came in here this evening. Now, for those of you who are watching at home, and we're well into 50 or 60 viewers already, and that's just in Market Drayton, you can message us. You can message this meeting. You can send us a message, and it'll appear on stage in my very hands, and we'll be able to read it back to you. So if you want to text us or email us or tweet us from China or Africa, Australia, or Whitchurch, please do. You can go onto the Fawthall Farm website, or you can use your own handheld device and tweet us, and you'll get straight through to Becca. She's looking nervous already. How many tweets can you handle in one evening, dear? Okay. And some of them, the clean ones, will be read out live from stage. I think those are all the notices for the time being. So what we're going to do then, apart from showing you video clips shortly, we're going to interview some of the key personnel. Can you still hear me? Yep. We're going to interview some of the key personnel who were instrumental in saving Fawthall 10 years ago. So please will you give a great big welcome to the 3 H's, to Sophie Hopkins and to Ben and Charlotte Hollins. Hey, come on up. Come and sit here. Are you comfortable?
Hello? Yeah.
The grilling will begin. Actually, first of all, Sophie's come here tonight from Europe, haven't you? Where do you live? Well, first of all, you've changed your name.
I'm Sophie Collivine Hopkins and I live in the Netherlands.
And you're the mother of 6. Come a bit closer to the microphones, it might help.
Lifeline dates.
I choose number 3.
Sophie
I have
has
2 children, and as far as I know, everybody in this room has probably read The Grazer, so you know all this already.
Are these your 2 children here?
Yeah, right down
Do you want
here.
to wave? Give us a wave. Can we get them on camera?
That's one.
Yeah, there's one. There they are. There's one. Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. Is your child here, Charlotte?
She is, yeah. She's with Daddy.
Hooray! Do that again so we can get you on camera. Come on. Over there. And again. That's it. Fantastic. Don't do it again. She'll be sick all over the carpet. And Ben, is your baby here?
Yeah, Jamie.
Stand up, Marianne.
Come on, Jamie. Cooperate. There's a good lad. Yes. Okay. These people were not here 10 years ago, these little people. They've arrived since. And I think you fell in love at Fawthall Farm, didn't you?
Yeah, there seems to be something about the farm that is a little bit... if you come down the drive and you're single, watch out.
Okay. Charlotte, did you fall in love at Fawthall Farm?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ben, did you fall in love at Fawthall Farm?
I did, yeah.
See what I mean? No one is safe.
I don't want to clap for this. Yeah.
I think they quite like, the technicians would quite like to get a bit closer to the
Can I
microphones if
move
you
it
wouldn't mind,
forward?
yeah. Just move your chairs, that's probably the easiest thing. Yeah, okay. So, give me one abiding memory of this day 10 years ago. Sophie?
Exhaustion.
Say that.
It was incredibly surreal.
Why was it surreal?
I don't think we'd slept for about 3 days. Like, seriously, no sleep. And we were just so excited. It's very strange. The adrenaline and just... I don't know, we'd been aiming for this moment and we achieved it, and there was press everywhere and our friends were there and we were just so tired. And yeah, it was amazing. I don't remember it very clearly. That's the one day I don't remember very clearly out of the whole campaign, actually.
That's too much champagne?
In the evening, yes, but even in the morning, it was from 5 o'clock in the morning, it was stop nodding at the champagne. Yeah, I don't remember it as, yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, it's dream.
But did the fatigue overcome the elation, or did the elation win through in the end?
No, the elation won through, but it was surreal.
Yeah.
And I think
especially for Ben and I, we spent our lives growing up at the farm where Mum and Dad were fighting to stay here, and then we took it on. We hadn't really been at the farm that much apart from when we were like under 10, I guess, when the family weren't fighting to stay here. And then you can't then, over the course of 24 hours, suddenly your brain doesn't catch up that quickly that you're not having to do that anymore. So it really was, I think we were going through the motions, and then more press came with more bottles of champagne, and it kind of got worse.
I agree. It was just a bit of a haze, and it slowly sunk in probably over about 6 months.
Yeah.
And it was just odd. It was an odd time because we were happy, but didn't really realise what it all meant. And then over about 6 months, it sort of sank in, and we started to enjoy it.
So the importance of what you'd achieved wasn't immediately obvious.
No, I think that we went, oh my God, now we've actually got to do what we said we were going to do.
Presumably, Ben, you had to go and feed the cows and the pigs and the sheep, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So
just carried on as normal. Yeah. Apart from the TV cameras and reporters in the car park. Yeah.
It was. I think both Sophie and I did sit down and go, now the hard work really begins.
Yeah.
We felt like that.
Yeah, because fundraising and then developing the project afterwards is been a completely different experience.
And we had an awful lot of applications to process.
We still had a few thousand shares.
Yeah, and we really felt like we wanted to get that stuff out to people as quickly as possible. So I don't think we took any time off. We had about 10 minutes in the garden where we were just like, we've done it. And then we thought, okay, back to the office. These people have supported us. We need to get back in and get those shares out so they can really be part of it.
In fact, the video footage that you're not going to see because there was so much of it was actually that the next day all the volunteers and us were in the office writing out share certificates and putting information onto the database, and I think it actually took us 6 months in the end. I don't know if any of you were those people that bought shares near the end. Sorry it took so long to get them out to you. We were working, we didn't stop.
No, we didn't.
It took a long time. So it was.
I've always wanted to ask this question, so I'm going to put you on the spot now. Was it really a case of the last cheque arriving the day before the deadline? Or was that slightly stage managed, that moment?
It wasn't the last cheque arrived, it was the money clearing in the bank.
Oh, right.
The money had to be cleared in the bank.
And it was
By the 1st of July, 2006.
Yeah, for us to take up that option, because we had to the bank had to send proof that the money was there to the landowners for us to be able to take up that legal option. And it was literally the day before that we got confirmation from the bank.
So it was a magic moment, a real magic moment.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you get involved, Sophie? We know how Ben and Charlotte got involved, but so you were the third of the H's. How did you get involved?
My father was doing the Taste of the Town in Market Drayton, and I just returned back from travelling, and the week later there was a community meeting at Fordall Farm, which is in Market Drayton. I was like, I don't really know this. But he said, they're young people and they could do with another young person to support them. And as Charlotte likes to tell people, there'll be a free lunch. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
A bit like tonight, really.
Thank you. And so I came along, and there was 20 or so people in this first meeting, and people were just exchanging ideas about what they felt was important. And I found myself feeling like, yes, to me, the countryside is important. The young people need to be getting out there, blah, blah. We all know all the reasons. And then I thought, hey, if nobody sort of says, I can help, then nothing happens. So I said to Charlotte, if you need anything, then I've got some spare time, then just let me know. I don't think I could do anything, but I can try. And then literally within 5 minutes of me leaving the farm, she'd already said, I'll see you tomorrow then. And that's how it started.
And was it completely all consuming, the experience?
Totally, but I let that happen also. Like it was a choice. I really felt like this had to succeed. There wasn't an option. There was so many pages and pages of reasons why it had to succeed, and just the one thing, it's worth a bit more money if it's developed. For me, it was just we really just had to do this. And the more I got involved and took on more responsibility, that I would never have walked away from that. It just became amazing.
And what was on the front page of your reasons for wanting it to succeed? Sophie, yeah.
Because if it failed, that's an awful lot of administration returning all those checks. No, I just felt it's too good to be true, and sometimes there's just things that have to work.
Okay. We're going to look at some video that was taken. This is a little handheld camera. like a video diary, really, that was mainly in the hands of Charlotte, but occasionally it was given to Sophie to look through. Ben just performed in front of it. He didn't actually wield the camera much. So you're going to see these people as they were 10 years ago. And this first section of video really does explain just how important to the whole scheme the volunteers really were. So I have a secret sign to make now to the people in the van to make the video happen. The sign is that.
It says, never doubt that a small group of committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing it ever has. Margaret Mead. It's good, isn't it? We've had that on the wall since before September. That's why we're here.
We're going to go do some strimming. With Ollie. Ollie's going to do strimming. Hello. Right then.
Where have you come from today, Christoph?
I've come from London to water the hanging basket.
Oh, well done, just for that.
I've done most of them already.
How's it going?
It's going fine. Just getting a basket for the bread and Alex topping up the container.
Would you like a drink of
What have you been doing, Jack?
I've been hitting posts.
What have you been hitting posts? And you've been cleaning chairs for us, Emmy? Thank you very much for that.
Brian's keeping the fires going, so that's all right. And I'm writing out share certificates. My best writing.
Fantastic job. We got beautiful. What are you doing, Alice?
I'm writing checks into the computer. And I'm answering the phone.
And this is Steve, first day volunteering at Fordhall Farm.
Hello.
What are you doing for us, Steve?
I'm doing envelopes and sending out shares forms so people can
Give us some
give their money to us.
It's the 15th of June, 16 days to go. And here, burning the midnight oil, almost, we've got Jack and Rob. This is our latter day, lots of volunteers who've come
These are
in.
the Moonlighters.
We are.
Don't forget ours.
Oh, that was voice from another room. Who's in here? And in here working hard on the post, we've got Ben. You might recognise him from previous visits and appearances on TV. And we've got Dave.
Go away.
He wears great glasses. Let's see how much post we've had today and how many people have been buying shares.
These are share applications. These are individual pieces of paper per person.
That's the
And they
number
support more
that
than
I
one share.
called.
And the date is the 27th of, well, technically it's the 28th because it's 2:30 in the morning. But really, these are from the 27th of June, Tuesday. Each one of them is one application. This is what, we get that much in a month originally. And then we started getting that much in a week. And now we're getting it in a day. Okay, I hope people are going to be patient with receiving their share application. So doing our best.
It's a good time.
We've got a lot of volunteers in. Sophie, would you like to show how these are the
This is for
volunteers
tomorrow.
There we go. There's 19 people in tomorrow.
Just with that one.
My name is Rob. I'm from Leeds. Come down to help. Got me doing the post again, which is good. It's a great job doing the post because
How much have you raised today, Rob?
the total for today is 31,522.
Hey!
There we go.
Rob's our favourite person at the moment. He keeps getting loads of money.
This is how they got everything done so quickly.
I haven't answered the phone call, but I'll give it a go. Good morning, Fordhall Community Land Initiative.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh. It's a bit crazy, isn't
I
it?
want to know. Here, right.
Shout Save Fordhall Farm.
Save Fordhall Farm!
Well done, fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. What really impresses me is no matter how frantic they were, how they managed to keep everything looking so tidy. It's amazing, isn't it? Take us back to the beginning. Where did this crazy idea to save Fordhall Farm come from, Charlotte?
Well, saving the farm, I think, came naturally in some respects. I mean, the family were fighting to stay here for, many years when my parents were fighting through eviction notices throughout the 1990s. And then when I graduated from university, the last eviction notice had gone through the courts, it'd gone in favour of the landowner, and we were due to be evicted that March. That year, as I came back, Mullers shifted their focus on another piece of land the other side of the main road, which suddenly meant, from our landlord's point of view, his immediate buyer weren't sitting and waiting anymore. And so there was an opportunity. And when I came back from university, I was originally going to save to go travelling and didn't really know where I was going to end up, but I wanted it to be something to do with agricultural sustainability and taking that forward to the future. And Ben always wanted to be a farmer. And then when this opportunity came up, or when the development looked a bit more dubious, we jumped in there. And it just seemed natural, I think, didn't it? And 24 hours before we were due to be evicted in 2004, we got a short-term tenancy for 18 months. And then from there, we just set our heart on how do we secure it long-term. And Ben was very interested in obviously being the farmer, and I was very passionate at involving the community back within the farm again. And it was through asking lots of advice from lots of people, and I know Martin's going to be talking to you later, that the kind of structure came about and it all started to come together.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Ben, how confident were you you'd still be farming a year from then?
5.
Or was it just one of your sister's crazy harebrained schemes?
I think back in the early times, Charlotte and Sophie were much more positive than me, because I was getting a lot more negative feedback from people sort of off the farm. But the more I got involved with what Charlotte and Sophie were doing in the groups and people at the farm, the more positive and focused I got about it. And then when we started to get the publicity and people started to approach us, and sort of people would come to me then at farmers markets and shows and chat to me about it, say how great it was, and I started to think, actually, this could really start to happen. And we always knew we were going to be doing it and trying to save the farm. And the more support we got, the sort of more infused we got, and the more we thought, actually, there's a chance we could do this.
And Ben, despite all this, managed to get himself some wheels. Would you like to see Ben's wheels? Then here we go. Roll the video, boys.
It's the 3rd of June. We've just come back from a show. I think it's 8:30. We're just going to go and check the cows and sheep, make sure they're all okay. And we've got to select a couple that we're going to sell next week as well.
Cheaper than a sheepdog. Ah.
This cow's been in the paper a lot.
seem okay. We've got the sheep up, which was great. We'll go get a cup of coffee, I think, now, and maybe do a bit of work.
You notice how quiet the children went during the birth scene. So what was the next big step? What was the next threshold that you crossed in this campaign to save the farm?
When we got the tenancy agreement, the next thing off that, I guess, was the community meeting that Sophie came to. And the community meeting that Sophie came to was the one that Greg chaired for us. And it was there we asked the local community what they wanted from the farm, both then and in the future, 10 or 50 years down the line, what we wanted from it as farmers. And it was by putting those two things together that we came up with the community benefit structure and setting up the share scheme, which we thought would then be a way forward for the future, would hopefully secure the farm. It would marry everyone's needs and wants together. But we actually didn't have an offer from the landowner at that point, so then we had to pester him for that, which took months and months and months. And I think it was only 2 months before the end of our 18-month tenancy agreement we got the option to buy the farm. So the next big thing was that, and he gave us 12 months to raise £800,000. Then it took us 6 months to set up the legal structure. So then we had 6 months left to raise £800,000. But from the beginning, it was involving people in the farm, and Sophie will be testament to this. Is even before that before that meeting, we had our first volunteer weekend, which actually began with some of my friends from university coming down and telling me that the farm was a mess, which was very nice of them. But luckily, they followed that up with, we'll help tidy up for a weekend. So, of course, the 10 years that Mum and Dad were fighting the legal battles to keep the farm, it had deteriorated through that time. Most of the livestock had been sold off. The buildings were falling down, gates were falling down. There wasn't really anything here, was there? Things had been fly tipped. And they helped us tidy up the place, and that's how the kind of community involvement developed. And then we went on to holding events.
How was the psychology of that period, Sophie? How was your mind?
Like, if you listen to this story, you just think that's just a crazy story to be telling. It was intense. To be honest, there was only one real moment that I think we thought maybe it's not going to work, because I'm speaking for Charlotte myself, because Ben really did have a lot more negative comments to him at the beginning. We found someone that didn't believe us, and we talked until we convinced them that we were the right person. But until Ben got more confident about it, he really felt the negativity. But we were always so positive and stubborn, I guess, actually. Yeah, I have no idea what the question was anymore. I just talked.
I think we were excited that it was something different.
Yeah.
We were excited about the potential, and I think because the feedback we were getting, from all of you guys in the room was so positive, you can't appreciate how that affected us, because that
totally took us.
It drove us so much. Like, so much of the footage was taken at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Partly because that's when it was calm enough for us to remember to do some video footage. But we were working right through the night easily, because we were just fed energy by all the letters, the phone calls, the emails, everything we got that came through. That opened up doors. It gave us ideas, but it also gave us the energy to make it work.
I have 2 letters that I remember in particular for me. There was one lady wrote that she had a daughter that was paralysed, and she was only 5 years old, and she would never be able to take her child to a farm. You also remember this, huh? And she thought buying her daughter a share really helped bond her with the countryside that she'd never be able to experience. And she showed all the pictures, and they looked on the website, and they talked about Fordhall Farm as her life outside her room that she was stuck in. And that, God, it makes me all emotional thinking about it. But it was really, we opened these letters and we genuinely welled up. And the other one that I really remember was this really scratchy writing. Like, it was so hard to read it. But it was a lady, I think she said she was 89 or so, and she said, I don't have any money, but I really believe in what you're doing. And she sent us a £1 coin that she taped the letter. And we thought, but this really it meant a lot to us, especially to you two, but it really meant to people who'd never been here and will never come here. We'd really tapped into something, and it was that really carried us on through those darker moments. Totally.
Definitely.
In the meantime, Ben, I presume you had to carry on farming, not knowing what the future of the farm was. So were you in that period of time able to expand your herd and work on the the foggage system and develop the farm?
Yeah,
were you assuming it would succeed, farming-wise?
We were presuming it was going to exceed, and that's what we were working towards. So I worked off the farm as well, part-time, and all the money I earned went into buying more livestock. We started making some sausages at a local abattoir, and then we were trying to sell those. And so every bit of time I had was sort of, if I wasn't helping in the office, I was out on the farm or working off the farm and trying to build up the livestock, because even though I was more worried it wouldn't work, the whole plan was that it was going to work. And that was all that we planned for, is what we're going to do next, how we're going to tidy the next bit up at the farm to sort of do something else, or how we're going to make the next little bit of the field good enough to have a few more cows. And
was that when you opened the farm shop?
Yeah, the first little farm shop we did was at the back of the house. In the little lean-to on the back of the house, we just had a little freezer, and we took our first, I think, 2 pigs to a local abattoir. They cut them all up for us and made them into sausages. Me and Charlotte went and packed them, and we brought them back and sold them frozen. I think the first week we made about 50 quid or something. First weekend. We were rich. Yeah, we thought we were amazed. We were like, wow, we sold 50 quid worth of sausages. And, and it was great, and it just went from there. And some of those customers still come to the farm shop now, and it's evolved so much.
How many sausages do you sell a week now? 50 quid?
A bit more than that, yeah.
And actually, Tim Hobbs is in the room here somewhere, who still does work for the Prince's Trust, and we got a £2,000 loan from the Prince's Trust then, at a time when, this is before the community structure had been set up. No one would even look at us, the banks wouldn't touch us. And when Ben and I took on the tenancy in 2004, we had absolutely no money. You know, Dad was getting into his 90s. There was 11 cows, 6 pigs and 6 sheep. We had no idea what we were doing, but we thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. You know, we were so excited. And the Prince's Trust were the only people that had any faith with us, and it was a £2,000 low interest loan, and that bought us our first livestock, didn't it? And then able to start building it up.
I think we bought a freezer and a little bit.
A little freezer, yeah.
Well done to the Prince's Trust. Okay. We'll be talking to Ben, Charlotte and Sophie again at the end of the evening, but the turning point, it seems to me, reading the book and writing the play, was the day of the Daily Telegraph article, and this was Easter 2006, and the cameras were out on that day as well, so we're going to see some footage now from Easter 2006, the day the Daily Telegraph was published. Thank you very much.
Easter Monday, day after Easter weekend. It's our Easter, and it was made a little crazy by, if I can find it,
there it is.
Saturday Telegraph. A fight for Fordhall Farm. Okay, it's just gone 8:30. Monday, 17th day, March, Easter Monday. And soon, I bet you any money, this afternoon this car park will be full. People coming on the nature trail, wanting to go around the farm. The phone has not stopped ringing since 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. An article on the Telegraph. A fantastic response. Been just crazy. How will it look in 5 years' time, I wonder? Day, Marianne and Alan were marking in the van, and they were running back and forth, answering the phones for me in the office as I was running out to the shop. Ben was dealing with his cow, and he was fixing the nature trail. The customer, we actually weren't meant to be open yesterday, Easter Sunday, but Radio Shropshire had advertised the nature trail on the radio, and the Saturday Telegraph just meant that people kept coming down, so we had to open. And it was nice that, well, it was a nice Easter. It was crazy in every possible way. Life all over the place, not just our own. Internet was going all day, the phone kept ringing. Let's have a look in the garden. And the project's growing. And Dad's all around, I'm sure. So who knows what today might bring.
Oh, I have no idea.
I can't work out if it's
75 days to go. That's what I know.
And what have you been doing?
All these emails coming through saying, can I buy a share online? 14 pages of emails, actually.
And they're still coming, and what do you keep saying?
I don't think I can say it on camera.
The emails keep coming through.
No, it's really great, but it's a learning experience for us because we haven't actually done it yet. So, yeah.
You mean shares online?
Yeah. I hope it works.
Trying to coordinate and get all the right names and addresses with the right people, and how many shares they've bought and who they bought them for, and complicated stuff.
Yeah.
Sophie keeps telling me off.
Yeah, I do. And Charlotte doesn't listen to me, so I just keep trying. Never mind, one day.
It's getting through. It's getting through. Right, I'm going to go change the internet.
How many phone calls have you had, Charlotte?
Well, between us, over the weekend, we've had about 200, I think.
Yeah.
This is all my stacks of stuff of information ready to post out to people. This is the new book of addresses, because this book got full. So we had a couple of phone calls. We've got a lovely fire going, even though it is quite warm outside. It's quite cold in. Yeah. And anyway, best get to it. It's midday and there's a lot to do. We'll see you later.
Bye. See?
That's the.
All completely loopy here.
Yeah.
Well done, Connie. That was Connie dancing. Let me invite our next three guests onto the stage, but we're going to do one or two things as they make their way here. So we're going to welcome onto the stage Jill Jones, Graham Sedgley and Willow McGovern. If you'd like, you make your way. But first, as you come up, we do need a publicity photograph for various sources of us all doing something silly, like waving our arms in the air. So can we turn a camera on the audience once again? And with Charlotte's little phone, on the count of three, stick your hands in the air and kind of smile at us. 1, 2, 3. Keep it going, keep it going. Keep it going. Has it flashed yet? I can't see. Great.
Can I explain what that's for?
Yeah, please do. Find a microphone and explain what it's for.
Like this one. As part of our anniversary this year, we've been working with Power to Change, which is a national organisation to promote and support community business. And so your Hands Up is Hands Up to support community business, which is a social media campaign running throughout this weekend. And there's lots of community businesses as a result right across the country opening their doors this weekend, celebrate themselves, their stories, and trying to promote the movement right across the board and right throughout the sectors, from community-owned farms, shops, pubs, leisure centres, finance centres. You know, the list is endless. So that will be shared out there. So thank you, everybody. And
tomorrow?
And it will be shared tomorrow, or do you mean we're doing
what we're doing tomorrow?
So as part of that, we've got a behind the scenes day. Here tomorrow. So Mike at the back there, give us a wave, Mike. And Mel isn't here, is she? So Mike's going to be running our youth project tomorrow. Mel will be out in the community garden doing our care farm, which works with adults with learning disabilities, and then we'll have some of the other staff in here talking to people about what we've done, how we've done it, the successes at the farm, for people who want to learn about it, maybe do something similar, and maybe get involved for people who want to come and join volunteering. So if any of you are interested in any of that or want to know a bit more, that you haven't grabbed us tonight, then come along tomorrow with your friends. We'll be in here between 10 and 2.
Great, okay. The messages are coming in on Twitter and Facebook and text. So, on Twitter, congratulations on your 10 years, a fantastic achievement from Tim Roberts. Thank you, Tim. Happy 10th year anniversary, Fordhall Farm. Thanks for being an inspiration for community business, and bring on the celebrations. This is from Charlotte Cassadane, would that be? Cassadane? Happy 10th anniversary to the amazing, inspiring and wonderful Fordhall Farm. 10 years of community ownership from Mike Perry. Nathan Rouse on Twitter. 10 years of Fordhall Farm. Here's the first ever community business weekend too. That's tomorrow. Cody Dock. Best wishes and congratulations to everyone at Fordhall Farm from Cody Dock, who's watching in East London. Must be an East Ender. And hello on Facebook from Australia. Let's give them a wave in Australia. Hello, Australia. Hello, Australia. Watching now with a small glass of bubbly, you amazing guys. So amazing to see you all from Denise Brown Down Under. Fantastic stuff. Hey, thank you. Do come up. So let Willow, come and sit next to me, Willow, with your mum. And Graham and Jill, come and take another chair. Okay. Can you get up there? Oh. Oops. Yeah, good. Don't worry about the microphone, it's really a stick of licorice, honest.
Doesn't taste good.
Hello, Willow. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. You're 7 next month, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear her out there? You can, jolly good. How come you're a shareholder? How did you get to share?
We've been joining in with For the Farm lots and visiting loads, and my mum and dad have been getting me shareholds.
So she bought you a share. Is it on your bedroom wall? Or? No, okay. I won't ask where it is. What do you like, Willow? What do you like about Fordhall Farm?
The woodlands and the wildlife.
So you go down to the woods, do you? The copse down to the woods? It's not full of ghosts and wicked witches and things?
No.
What kind of wildlife do you like most?
Like foxes, hedgehogs, rabbits, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And birds? Do you like watching the birds too?
Yeah.
Tell me about the birds you've seen.
Blackbirds, robins, woodpeckers and blue tits.
Which colour woodpecker?
Sorry?
Which colour woodpecker? The black and white ones?
Yeah.
Now your school has been to Fordhall Farm, hasn't it? Which school are you at?
Wixell.
At Wixell? And the older children came here?
The year 5s.
Yeah, and what year are you?
2.
So you've got to wait 3 more years to come back again, have you? Okay. And what about the farm animals? What do you appreciate about the farm animals? What do you like?
I like feeding them.
Is that the lambs? So you come to the spring fair, do you watch and see the lambs?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the smelly bits of the farm? Do you like the smelly bits? The muddy bits? You don't? Oh, no. Okay. And the food. I gather you quite like Fordhall food.
Yes.
Whose food do you like most? Who do you like? Who's the best cook at Fordhall?
Chef Nicola.
Chef Nicola. You'll realise she'll want a pay rise now, won't you? Okay. She makes something special for you, doesn't she?
Yeah.
What does she make for you?
Calendula and honey ice cream.
Calendula and honey ice cream. I've heard of honey ice cream. Is calendula, is that an insect?
No.
What's calendula?
A plant.
It's a plant. And is it yummy?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'd like to see more wildlife at Fordhall Farm. And the one thing you haven't done yet, I think, is pond dipping, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's your next thing at Fordhall is to go pond dipping. Yeah?
Yeah.
And is that your pesky brother sitting there as well? What's his name?
Jasper.
Jasper. And your pesky mum?
B.
Yeah. Hello, Jasper. Hello. Great. So you really enjoy Fordhall Farm and you're going to come here now every year for the rest of your life. Is that right?
Yes.
Brilliant. Will you give Willow McGovern a round of applause, please? Thank you very much. Well done, Willow.
Lovely spoons.
Thank you very much. Graham Sedgley.
Hello, Chris.
You have a special place on the Fordhall Register.
Apparently, yes. I was the first person to buy a share at Fordhall.
Can you remember the occasion?
I remember it very well, actually. I believe it was a Wednesday. It was definitely wet in Market Drayton, and I saw...
It's always wet on Wednesdays in Market Drayton.
Market Day, of course. And I saw a laminated sign near Barclays in Cheshire Street advertising this meeting, and I knew where and what Fordhall were, but not about this meeting. And I had time, and I went in there, and even younger Sophie and Charlotte, etc., were there doing a presentation at the festival centre.
So you bought the first share. Did you mind that 8,000 people copycatted you?
No, I was hoping they would, really, I suppose.
Okay. Why? What was it? What was the one thing that made you want to buy that share?
I think it was the hope and the enthusiasm which came across from them on that first day. And there was, as they've already alluded to in the video show, and there was a huge danger that the huge target would never be reached. And I remember well the small form, folded up form we were handed out as we arrived. and it gave the option of what would happen to your money in the event of it not reaching the target. Was it a refund, Shropshire Wildlife Trust, which I think I ticked John, or Friends of the Earth? And in the end, of course, it went to Ford Hall.
Yeah, okay. But there was some nervousness, some uncertainty. There was a graph, wasn't there, that you saw?
Yes, we haven't seen it tonight, but the countdown to the final day shows what it was like, because I was hoping when I got involved that, as Charlotte invited me to become involved, that we would steadily rise towards that target.
Yeah,
roughly a good 100 grand a month, and it was nothing at all like that. And we just trailed along for most of the first 3 or 4 months, if there was such a graph, and you could see that from some of the video clips that were shown earlier. And really, the bulk of the money arrived in the last 6-7 weeks. A lot of it came from that Telegraph feature, of course, that spurred it on. But we kept trying to particularly buoy up Ben and everything, but really, if you were looking for a straight line projection, it was no hope early on.
You had the unusual privilege of opening an envelope which had 2 first-class stamps on it.
That's right, yes. We had the television cameras here at the end, and we knew we'd just about banked enough to clear the target, and the post was coming in bulk in those days. It was coming in trays, sort of 18 inches of
Some of the trays are still
envelopes.
here, I noticed, yeah.
Yeah, huge plastic trays of these things, and the camera was rolling. The postman was actually made to reverse down the farm drive and return for the filming. And the interviewer from local television, I guess, said, could we all open one of the envelopes on camera and sort of conceal signatures and bank details? And I chose one that protruded above the others by a good inch clear with 2 first-class stamps and what looked like elderly person's writing saying, first class, please. So I opened it, slit it open with my thumb, and there was a cheque for, I believe it was £10,000. And it wasn't a cheque as such, it was a gift aid type cheque, or a charity book cheque. And when I revealed this amount, I remember Charlotte saying, "You're joking." No, it's on camera. And it was just amazing. And that was just typical of the enthusiasm that came through at the end.
Okay, stay where you are, Graham. Let's introduce Jill Jones from Standon in Staffordshire, who's... are you here with Noel, your husband, tonight?
No, my husband is no longer with me. So
I'm sorry,
he died
okay.
A couple of years ago.
Okay, come close to the microphone, Jill. Yeah,
yes,
that's it, perfect.
like that.
That's very
Whoops.
good, yeah. You can hear it now, can't you? Yeah, great, okay.
Doesn't taste like licorice, though.
No, there's just this one that tastes like licorice, okay. The children's microphone. You kind of come from a farming family. Your father was a farmer of sorts.
My father was involved with farming before I was even a twinkle in their eye. But I've always been interested in agriculture and various aspects of it. Chicken keeping, mostly. Lots of hens and a few goats, but very much on the fringes.
So did you have, shall we say, existing organic tendencies? Sounds like a disease, doesn't it? But were you already organically minded before you heard about Ford Hall?
Yes, I was. And I was beginning to think that if... I felt that the planet was going to collapse in a heap because where I was living at the time, I was the only organic voice in what seemed to me to be an environmental wilderness. And I remember Charlotte came and talked to our local WI.
Yes, it was a dangerous night to go to the WI that night, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It was quite a costly one, actually. But she was so enthusiastic and so inspirational. And a lot of people were very impressed by what she had to say. But I have to say, I was very cynical, and I thought, yeah, it's fine, she's young, Ben's young. They don't really know what's involved in the sort of venture they're talking about. But I'll go and have a look at Ford Hall Farm and just see if it really is everything that they're saying that they're going to do, and if it's possible. And certainly it gave me the courage to go on being organic, with rather less success, but it sort of gives me hope for the future, for the planet, if that doesn't sound too, what's the word, altruistic, I suppose. But I find if I'm having, even now, having been a shareholder for quite a long time, I find if I'm having a down day, for reasons that we've just mentioned, the last couple of years I have had a few down days, if I come to Ford Hall Farm, it gives me the courage, I suppose, to go on, and the support, and I feel coming to the farm anyway, I'm with like-minded people, and yeah, it does subtly. I know that when I come here, I'm going to meet people who are pursuing a similar course to the best of their ability. So, yeah.
So you're no longer a lone voice in a toxic wilderness.
No, I've got lots of new friends, which is wonderful.
It's interesting, isn't it? Other people have a revelation on the road to Damascus. You had a revelation on the road to Drayton.
I did, absolutely.
Graham, what's been happening to you in the last 10 years then? What have you done since? So what was you actually there? Actually, you were around on the morning of the TV broadcast, the day of the success, weren't you? 10 years ago this very morning, you were there.
I was indeed, yes.
And your children?
My young children came. I came here for, I think, the 6 o'clock broadcast, and then rang home and said, I think the children should be here for the next one, the 7 o'clock. And my son, who's with me tonight, who still can't legally drink, decided that was a good option. Legally. He certainly couldn't then. And yet he decided the champagne I asked him to hold while they filmed us was his morning breakfast drink. And I know, because he's a bright lad, he knew that I couldn't really stop him from doing that because the camera was rolling.
However, he was found out, wasn't he?
He was actually, yes. I rang one of his teachers. It's a small village school, and I had the home number of one. And I said, would you mind videoing the Midlands Today News that morning? And I took them to school, minus their school shoes, just still in wellies from here. There's a lot of mud at Ford Hall, and there was then. And I had to go back with their shoes, and then in their lunchtime, I believe, they watched the video of that launch with the champagne, referred to earlier, and the cake that people had given and so forth. So
your son was seen on TV drinking champagne by all his teachers. Yeah.
Yes. Is that right? Yes, Joshua was.
Has he lived it? Have you lived it down? Yeah. Still got a taste of champagne. You then joined the board for 2 years at Ford Hall Farm. Dangerous thing to do, of course. What was on the agenda at that time? What kind of things were you discussing?
Well, it was still about fundraising. I guess it was more about putting into action all the promises that had been made to the public. Mm-hmm. And both Charlotte, Ben and Sophie, I suppose, they're all there in those early days, and Jack and people who are here tonight, lots more people besides. And it was important that the promises made to the public were then put into practice. And
I wish the Labour Party and the Conservative Party would listen to this. But
yes. Yes.
You listening, Boris? Boris Johnson, you listening, Boris?
They had a manifesto and they stuck to it and didn't turn their back on it, yes. And it was wonderful because they've done what they said they would do, and then some, of course.
Jill, you've since become, I love this phrase, a Ford Hall ambassador. So what kind of things do you do? And come to the microphone again.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
What sort of things do I do? I don't know. I talk about Ford Hall Farm endlessly to those that may or may not be interested because...
Surely nobody's not interested.
Well, yes.
I bet you're persuasive, aren't you?
Well, I try.
Yeah.
I do try, and I go into our local schools from time to time and remind them that there are events going on. Sadly, I sometimes think that in Staffordshire we need a passport to get here, but slowly, I'm overcoming that a little bit as well. I suppose what I try and do is encourage people to follow the events of Ford and the activities of Ford Hall Farm on the web, which I think the website is improving hugely every time I see it, but still seems to be a lack of awareness of some of the activities, some of the workshops, some of the opportunities, and the huge range of people that it's available to, from little people, as we've seen, and older people, and those who have various difficulties to overcome. There is always something somewhere at Ford Hall Farm that they can take part in. So I try and find all those people and tell them that it's happening.
You come here quite regularly. Do you spot changes all the time?
Oh, yes.
Such as? What have you spotted recently?
Well, the plans for... Now I've gone totally blank, I can't remember what it's called, the new building that's going to happen.
The Bale Hostel.
Oh, yes.
Actually, I shouldn't call it that.
I have
it's a
heard
hostel
that.
made out of straw bales. If the Market Drayton Advertiser are here, I didn't say Bale Hostel, okay?
And the yurts, for example, were only an idea when I first started coming to Ford Hall. All sorts of activities that happen now, like the facilities to have weddings here, the resources that are available, the variety of things in the shop, and so on.
Finally, Jill, there's rumours of a cake. Tell me about the cake, or cakes.
I don't think you want me to tell you about the cakes. Blood, sweat and tears, I think. And
pretty good ingredients.
Yes. It is organic, with the possible exception of the string that's holding the fences up, because Ben hadn't got his pigs under control and he'd eaten the hinges, so a bit of string was called for, but apart from that, the rest is organic.
Have you seen the cakes as you came in at the back? There's a pair of matching cakes made by Jill.
Thank you.
And we will be producing a very large knife at the end of the evening, and if you behave yourselves, we'll use it to cut the cakes, okay? Would you please give a great thank you to both Graham Sedgley and to Jill Jones. Thank you very much indeed. Just stay put for a moment. So, more from the secret video camera. This is... sound like a spacecraft from outer space. Well, actually, that sound was very appropriate because the main theme of this next section of video is indeed pain. So let's see now just how painful the campaign was. Thank you very much.
But they weren't getting the point. And I was trying to talk to them about it, and I think because we're so young as well, that they weren't listening at all to what I was saying, and they were just expecting me to be all kind of dreamy and visionary and it's nice and it's wildlife and it's community and it's touchy friendly, and the fact that it's actually got some important issues behind it and actually understand the structure and the legalities of it, even though I was talking about it, they didn't understand that I understood, if that makes sense. So when that guy went, in particular today, I was so blooming gutted, just kept sitting down because my legs were really tired and I just couldn't stand up anymore. And then this guy came along and was talking to me for ages. You know, he wasn't against what we were doing at all, but he didn't want to get involved. You know, he didn't want to support it. And I think part of it was because he didn't understand how it was going to work and he was a bit wary of it, and because we're quite young as well. And he just kept saying it won't work. And which just made me even more determined, like, I'm going to goddamn show you. This is really going to work. And we're going to raise £800,000 by the 1st of July. There's just no more about it.
These letters in an hour and a half. Charlotte's just been to bed for an hour and is in pain, aren't you, Charlotte?
I am. Everything I do is painful. I feel really sensitive. I'm dehydrated. My arms on the table are painful. My bum is painful. My head is painful. Holding my body up is painful. Talking is painful. I now have got stomach ache. Oh my god. It's all painful.
Is it worth it?
Not at the moment. This is too painful.
We've been doing this newsletter for a few days, but we've only just been able to spend a lot of time on it. And we've worked through the night. We both had a 10-minute kip each
Oh my god, there's
on the desk.
A proper obvious spelling mistake. Leaflet says leaflet.
She's still on form.
This newsletter is going to raise us £300,000.
You two not gone to bed yet?
Shut up.
We're nearly done.
Almost.
Hello. I've been to the abattoir.
Right, newsletter's nearly finished. Sophie's just finishing it off. We've just been going through the changes, and we're going to take it into town in a minute. Have a look what the state they're all in. It's about what time? It's about 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
it's 9 o'clock, by the way, and they haven't been to bed yet. Oh no, sorry, Charlotte's gone to bed. How are you doing, Sophie?
Okay.
You look very chirpy for someone who didn't have very much sleep last night.
Thanks. I think it would hit me later.
Okay, it's Sunday. What's the date?
4th of June.
4th of June. And we've all been working in the office trying to finish off the newsletter before it goes to the printers tomorrow. And Andrew's just phoned us to say that he's finished making the bin. So let's go and have a look at what he's done. There he is. Nice hat.
It's like a little...
Oh my goodness! Oh, that's great! Charlotte immediately gets in. Where you belong. Well done, Andrew.
Yeah, it's what time? 11 o'clock at night and it started at 11 this morning. There you go. Recycled wood takes forever, but...
This is so ace. Well, I want that at the bottom of the drive.
With a countdown.
Yeah, with a countdown.
Every day.
Yeah.
Also the numbers.
That's from what we had in the carnival.
Good idea.
As people are driving past, they can see how
See the days going down.
And then what we got next is a leaflet box. So people can pick up a leaflet.
Yeah.
This is so good!
Have you not got a flat free yet?
Why?
So we shut you up.
That's the
all completely loopy here.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Connie still never got on Strictly Come Dancing. And I'm convinced they should have put a lock on that bin, don't you? Yeah, it's a great shame. Okay, messages coming in on Twitter. Congratulations, Fordhall Farm. I saw an article in The Ecologist whilst living in Finland and bought a share. Visited once and bought some sausages. Adam Swallow. Fordhall Farm, brilliant, just brilliant. Well done, you Shropshire guys, from Tracy Nash. Thank you very much for those messages. You can visit our website to watch what's going on, and you can Twitter, Facebook and email us, and Becca will receive your messages. And I can tell you now that we have viewers to this very live radio TV programme now in China, Australia, Canada, Poland and France. Hello, France. Hello, France. Yes. And in the UK, we have viewers now in Cannock, Manchester, Stoke-on-Trent, Alton, Beaconsfield, London, Telford, Shrewsbury and Stratford-upon-Avon. That'll be William Shakespeare then. Okay. I'd like to introduce you, we're just changing the order slightly, so please bear with me. I'd like to introduce you to two guys who I don't think have actually met until this evening, is that right? Correct. These are two guys that you perhaps don't necessarily know too well, but they were both very instrumental in the early days of Fordhall and were kind of part of the engine that got the whole thing rolling. Will you please welcome to the stage Martin Large and Danny O'Sullivan.
Great to be here. It's perfect cure for the Brexit blues.
Yes.
What have we done?
Yes, it's all your fault, chaps. Danny, by the way, has got the best beard in the room.
Oh, I don't know. I saw one earlier on that was quite large over there somewhere.
Come close to the microphone, Danny.
Is it licorice?
No, it's yes, it really is. The gag of the night. Let's start with you because your involvement was a good 6 or 7 years before the whole saving of the farm was thought of. Tell me what happened. You were at college.
Yeah, I was at college finishing off a permaculture 72-hour design course, teacher's degree.
In Kent?
In Kingston College in London.
In London.
I was living in Kent.
Okay.
When the teacher, Andy Langford, said there's a really interested fogage farming system.
Just move forward slightly if you wouldn't mind. Yeah.
I was moving away because I can hear ringing.
Yeah, if you move nearer, it'll ring and you'll stop.
Stop. Okay.
Yeah, it's clever. That,
and this fogage farming system, which I'd never heard of, and he said it's really interesting. He said to the class, it'd be worth going and having a look. There's issues, they've got problems, they're facing, you know, it's all declining and they're facing possibly eviction and stuff like that. Especially you, Danny. So I looked in surprise when he got the permaculture plot book, found out the phone number, rang, spoke to Connie. Nothing here, it's all falling down. Arthur's ill, the kids are at school, the travellers are dumping rubbish on it and fighting for our lives. There's nothing to see, don't come up. So I loaded the van as much as I could fill it full of firewood and came up. And it's amazing what's happened since. Absolutely amazing. Charlotte and Ben were still at school. I remember Charlotte, I come up, pick her up one Sunday, drove her down to South East London, showed her a community farm and said, this is the sort of thing that this place could end up being. And then brought her back again. I'd done about 1,000 miles that day. Up here, got her back down there, back up here, then back down again. And then she went back to school and they went back to school. And as time has come on, I can't believe it's absolutely amazing. I was here when Sophie met your young man, and I was here when Ben, you met your lovely wife, and I was here when Charlotte met her lovely husband. I was here when all of that. I even remember Graham when, at 6 o'clock in the morning, phoning home for his kids to come here and holding off with the champagne and everything. It's been an amazing journey. It's been incredible to see, give the public the opportunity to do something good. And look what they've done. And look how you've rewarded them. All of you people here tonight, you look how you've rewarded the people that put the money in. It's fantastic. It's the most rewarding sitting here tonight. Yes! Absolutely wonderful, wonderful. And I suppose for me, on the day when the media came here, the same day when you were here, Graham, at 6 in the morning, the woman from the BBC, she went into the compost toilet to use the toilet and then wound up doing the whole appeal from inside the compost toilet. Because she was so amazed and impressed at this compost toilet and the view from out of it and everything else, she insisted on doing the whole, and that was amazing. That was amazing. And yeah, I've been there on opening checks of 20s and 30s and 10s and 15 quids and unbelievable, unbelievable.
When you came up, despite the fact that Connie tried to stop you, when you came up here for the first time, many years ago now, what was it that made you think, yes, Fort Hall Farm could be saved?
Well, the fact that it had been organic for so long, and Arthur, he was passionate. And he was really sharing. He wanted to talk about everything that he'd done, even though he was ill and he was old. He was really wanting to talk about everything that was there. And once I realised how much was there, what was actually there, it just needed to be saved. It just needed to be taken out of the natural extension to Market Drayton. This farm was actually put into the natural extension of Market Drayton.
On the town plan?
On the town plan, yeah.
Martin, how did you get involved, Martin?
I'm a professional incendiary. So my motto is enabling people to light their fires.
Okay. So what happened?
So my mate Greg, who sends his greetings, he's since had 2 children, but it's difficult to get his head out of Stroud Brewery beer vat. He runs Stroud Brewery now.
In Gloucestershire, yeah.
So we were invited by Charlotte and Ben to come to see if we could help assist the farm. And so we arrived, I think, in November or December 2004, and we were really impressed by Charlotte's huge file of publicity. Was it the planning permission you fought? That's right. So we were very impressed. So as Stroud Commonwealth in Gloucestershire, we set up the process for saving the farm.
So you'd done something similar in Gloucestershire, have you, or something along these lines?
Yeah, absolutely. For example, setting up a theatre, which is more difficult than a farm. So, is it January or February 2005, Charlotte? Yeah, we made sure we invited all the key people that had a connection with the farm, whose story was connected with the farm, so they could tell the farm story. And a delicious moment was meeting Arthur, and a video, was it of your grandfather? No, Dad. It was Arthur on the farm, yeah. So absolutely delicious moment of people sharing their stories, developing a future for the farm, and also the fantastic moment when Sophie, is that right? Sophie, Charlotte, and a few other young people formed a project group to take on that was a delicious moment. There was another delicious moment I wanted to share with you. Is your local MP the glorious Owen Paterson?
Sadly so.
Is that right? So there's a golden moment when we launched the share offer, wasn't there, in the Arts Centre? And I invited people to chat up two people that looked interesting in the audience. And I can remember Owen Paterson's face. Yeah, so it was another delicious moment.
He's been chatted up again about 2 years ago. Oh dear, that's your phone, Danny.
And it's over there.
Yeah, Brian. Connie, could you take it for a dance? Just take it out for a dance, the phone. Yeah,
then the real motto of Fort Hall Farm is, we create the road as we travel. So Ben, were you 19 at the time? You were a very dubious, somewhat conservative Shropshire young farmer at the time, I seem to remember. You were very, very dubious about sort of cooperative things from Stroud in Gloucestershire. You didn't really know that I was from the Yorkshire Dales, which is far worse. So our real motto was, we create the road as we travel. You know, we make it up as we go along. Yeah? For example, Charlotte's golden moment question was, Martin and Greg, how do we develop a structure, an organisation for participation, community building, joint responsibility and investment? And so that's how we developed the Community Benefit Society structure. And another little golden moment was, how do you make a cooperative community benefit society into a charity? So, you know, we carefully crafted the objects, and I had to phone up Her Majesty's Customs and Revenue in Liverpool. You could phone them up in those days, and they were really friendly. So
how things have changed.
Yeah, it's a website now. It still works. They're still quite friendly, but it's via a website. So we had to change the object so we could become a charity at law, which is an amazing back door of getting charitable status. So that means gift aidable and no stamp duty on the purchase and all those sorts of things. So basically, Ben, we were actually making it up as we went along.
Who made up the idea of selling shares?
We did.
Greg
and I did.
That was your advice.
Yeah, I come from Yorkshire Dales and Newcastle upon Tyne, and that's the way we used to do things. Pubs. Wensleydale Creamery for Wensleydale cheese. This cooperative way of raising finance was the way we used to do things up north.
Does the name Martin Luther King also feature slightly in this story?
It does.
Tell us that little element, please.
Is a bit of a leading question. Do you have a story there?
Wasn't his scheme of sharecroppers in America in your mind when you had the idea of selling shares before?
Right, that was his cousin.
Was it?
And yeah, sharecroppers in the Deep South. And I'd researched community land trusts and community farm trusts in America in 2003 on a Winston Churchill scholarship.
Right.
And in fact, although my grandmother took one look at Winston Churchill on the television when I was 10 years old and said, that man is no friend of our sort of folk, we called our land trust in Gloucestershire Land for People after Winston's 1910 election address. So, this kind of Fort Hall Community Land Initiative is part of a rich, cooperative British tradition. And I'd just like to give you my blessings, and it's wonderful to see the children here, and may your crops, may your children, may your community, your farm and your animals thrive, because you're the farm of the future.
There's no problem with the children.
No.
Thank you very much, Mark. Don't go away. Don't go away. Danny, you want to tell us, Danny, about a particular Christmas here at Fort Hall Farm? What happened there?
The spirit of the whole reason we're all here, Arthur, the spirit of the man was amazing. The last Christmas that we had dinner in the house, I'll never forget, he looked at me and he winked and he said, I'm surrounded by an awful lot of you can't... No, he was talking of himself. He said, I'm surrounded by an awful lot of I can't go anywhere yetness. And he knew that this was going to happen. He knew this was on its way. And he also knew that he was hanging on and hanging on and hanging on, and he couldn't go anywhere just yet. He'd have been so proud of everybody and what happened here. He'd have been so, so proud of it. He was an amazing man. It's why I gave the time, because of him and the people here. That I'll never forget the day when Ben and Charlotte said, yes, we want to take it over. Up until then, I could only look after the captain of the sinking ship. That was Connie. And Arthur, keep the house warm. That's all I could do. But then I'll never forget the day that Ben and Charlotte said, yeah, we want to take it on. And I remember talking to you before you went to that meeting, before your 18 months, I went, just go and tell them your intention. Just go and give it to them. The rest is going to happen. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't know how it was going to happen. It's all of you and this man here that's made it happen. I'm delighted. I'm the happiest person here, I've got to tell you.
Martin, is it likely to happen again? Are there going to be other Ford Hall farms?
We keep lighting fires. In fact, Ford Hall Farm was the pioneer of the reinvention of the Community Benefit Society, and it was the only successful community share offer in 2005-06, was it? And now there's several thousand community benefit societies, and this structure's been taken up by Cooperatives UK and spread. So renewable energy, co-ops, pubs, shops, you name it, they use this structure as well as the charity at law structure. So, for example, I've set up the Biodynamic Land Trust, and we've now got 4 farms in trust and a 5th partner farm. And you know, it's just spreading, and I think...
Despite the recession, despite the way the government's going, it's still spreading?
I think because of more and more people are looking to invest their money and their time and their energy into building communities around things that really matter to them, like good food, farming, good business. Yeah.
Marvellous stuff. Will you please give a great round of applause to Danny and to Martin. Thank you both very much indeed. Just stay there. I don't know who's been phoning you, Danny, whilst all that's been going on. You're obviously a popular man, because on Twitter a message saying, how trendy Danny looks. Congratulations on 10 years, watching live with lots of memories. And, oh my goodness, it's Danny. Hello from Australia. We're living so many good memories from those days at the farm, the achievements that have been made and all the people involved, volunteers, everyone, just so happy for Ford Hall Farm, Denise Brown in Australia. So, Danny, well done to you. Yeah, one more round of applause, that's it. Well, we've heard about Dave the postman and his reversing postman Pat van. We're going to see some footage now from the very early morning of Wednesday the 7th of June. It's dawn in one of these clips at least. And you'll also witness the Ford Hall trademark of badly behaved sheep. So let's see the next few moments of video, please.
Thank you. Cheers, Dave. Wow, there's loads. Loads for you again.
It's taking me all my time to actually record the number of cheques that we've got to pay in, let alone total up all the amount of money that they're paying.
Good morning. It's Wednesday the 7th of June. It's actually 4:30 in the morning. Me and Sophie are still up after having a meeting about organising the summer fair, which we've got on the 11th of June. We've had a really long meeting. It's been really interesting. We've just found ourselves loads of jobs and written loads and loads of lists, haven't we?
Yeah.
The reason we're actually standing out here now is because it began to get light and we saw sheep wandering past the window in the garden. So I came out to investigate and we heard all the birds singing, which sounded really nice. So we've both come out with a cup of Earl Grey to have a listen.
Great video.
This is one of the really good things about living in the country, near no big roads and no noisy towns. You can actually hear all this in the morning if you're actually up early enough. Quite surprisingly, even though we haven't been to bed yet, we've both seem to have loads of energy. I think it's because we're quite excited about the summer fair and all the plans seem to be going well.
We're going to be on the radio in an hour and a half on Radio 4, Farming Today. So it's all go.
Yeah, we're going to wait up for that now and record it. There's not really much point going to bed. Maybe even go and feed the pigs and do all those jobs
we're
nice
going to
and
go
early.
look at the new piglets.
Yes.
Because I haven't seen them yet.
No.
I'd like the sign.
Right, we're going to go now.
Okay.
Cheers, everybody. Most people working on a job wouldn't allow their boss to make, or wouldn't still be up at 4 o'clock in the morning working. Why do you do it?
Because I love it. And if I don't do it, it won't get done. And there's only 20. It's gone down again.
23 days now, isn't it? Is it 23 now?
The thing is, we've got so many opportunities, and if we don't take them, that could be the one.
Yeah.
And we're learning so much.
Yeah, it's amazing
The
how much
only
you are
downside of it is there's just not enough people to do it.
There's not enough hours in the day while we're still up now. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing, really, how much we've learned.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Me and Charlotte, especially because not just me and Charlotte, you as well.
Well, we all came from different directions.
Yeah, and from right at the very beginning when we first started, and from when you first started as well, because the structure wasn't there when you started. That we knew what we wanted to do, but we didn't have a clue how the hell we were going to do it. And to be here now, having raised £500,000, it's amazing, really. It's always so difficult because I had so many other commitments as well as this. Because we were doing this as well as holding my part-time job and trying to do my degree, and it's been so difficult. But now I've actually done my last exams
and passed.
Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, passed. Now I've finished my last exams, it feels like a really big relief. I haven't got to worry about, oh God, I've got to go to Harpenden and I've got to come back and butcher my meat and get the cows in. Do you know what I mean? It's like now, it just feels like great. I haven't got to go to Harpenden.
Know how to actually get to them.
Should we just move the camera to show you the sheep that walk past the window? Which is why we're out here.
And we haven't done anything about them.
There's one of them. Standing, looking very proud of herself in the middle of the drive.
For us to be on
our way.
For us to be on our way.
We're going to go look at the piglet.
It's probably almost time for us to be on Radio 4.
Can we look at the piglet?
Yeah. We're going to Beacon FM as well.
Today.
This morning at 7 o'clock. So after Radio 4 we've got a bit of time.
We're on the community TV from last night.
Oh really?
Yeah.
For the summer fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we can watch it now, it's on digital.
We haven't got digital?
No, on the, sorry. But yeah, it's on the internet.
Great, so we can watch that.
So,
I'm just going to show you the sheep are now wandering off.
They've got caught.
See you later. I'm sure we're going to have to go and get these sheep in as well in a minute.
Sheep are still badly behaved at Fort Hall. Well, I'm joined on stage now by having met two of the guys involved in the very early days. These are two of our present-day volunteers, both of whom have been involved with Fort Hall for at least a decade. Will you please welcome Mike Price and Ellie Lee. Ellie, you were living in London when you heard about Fort Hall.
Yes, Rob, my husband, who's at the back, he was currently serving in the RAF, down at RAF Uxbridge, and we first heard about Fort Hall on the BBC and through the Telegraph that we heard about earlier and we saw on one of the clips. And that was back in 2006, and Rob retired, and we wanted to move up to Shropshire, so here we came, and that was our first involvement with Fort Hall when we bought the shares.
What made you want to get involved?
First of all, we feel it's very important for our children to know where food comes from. We feel it's important for everybody, actually. And also, being involved with organic farming, we're very passionate about where food comes from and how it's grown, and sustainable farming and locally grown produce as well. We were fortunate to have an organic farm not far away from us in Uxbridge, and we had organic boxes delivered to us then, and we also had organic meat as well available to us down there. But as soon as we moved up here, we started to try and find out where we could get some organic meat from.
And that led to volunteering, not just yourself, but your children were volunteers, weren't they?
Yes, our children. There's a photo of them here, Bethan and Fionn. They were 9 and 11 at the time.
Hold it slightly higher, Ellie. There we go. That's it.
Yeah, you don't want to see my face. They were 9 and 11 at that time, and they really got dug in and really enjoyed getting mucky. It's a good theme about the volunteer weekend, is getting mucky. You never get away clean and tidy. You always go away mucky at the end of a weekend, and they thoroughly enjoyed coming in and getting stuck in. And I think this is a picture of when they were helping me peel lots of potatoes, because I got involved with catering for the volunteer weekends.
What are they doing now, your kids?
Well, Bethan, who's on the left, she's now in her 3rd year of medical school, and Fionn, who's on the right, has just finished 6th form college and doesn't really know what to do with her life, so she's doing a lot of soul searching at the moment.
Do you think bringing them to Ford Hall did something to change their thinking or to enhance their thinking?
They do like their meat, but they also like to know where it comes from. And I think that's been really being part of Ford Hall and coming here and visiting here and looking at the animals. And I remember them going with Ben one very early morning to feed the pigs, and they've never been scared or feeling squeamish at all about knowing where their food's come from. They know it's come from a cow, or pork has come from a pig, and chicken is chicken, and lamb is from sheep, etc., etc. They've never been worried about that, and they still feel very passionately about where their food comes from.
Okay. Don't go away. But Mike Price, you escaped from the RAF to come to Ford Hall Farm.
Yes, I think I did. I think I've been involved with a lot of community projects over the years, and I think coming here was a major change, not only in my life but my wife and our kids to some extent.
That was 2004. Was it the Taste of the Town that got you involved?
Yeah, my wife is at the Taste of the Town. I think I was there as well. I think I had this conversation this morning because I thought this question might come up, and my wife said, "You should have read my article." So yeah, it was Taste of the Town. And I think shortly after that we became involved. I think it was a working weekend, and I seem to remember it was a bit the same as Ellie was saying. It was mud, sweat and tears, as I remember. And I remember Sophie, I think, saying, I think we were clearing the ditches down the bottom at that time. Was that one of the first ones? I think it was. My overwhelming memory is of a young lady who fell in the water, and you said, "Stay there a minute while I take a photograph."
Your sister. It was Sophie's sister.
Well, she stayed there.
There's a story about some transient bricks as well.
Yeah, I think we've had many jobs. I'm going to say it's like a sort of a coming home today, meeting people who've been volunteering. Danny especially, I think the amount of bits and pieces that Danny has taught me over the years is some of the stuff maybe is not quite health and safety, but we'll get there. But I seem to remember there was some bricks. We probably at one point took some of the bricks out of the dairy, and I seem to think that we've moved those bricks at least 3 times. And I think as volunteers we sort of went blindly on going, well, that'll be useful then. And they're now sitting in the garden, don't they, Connie? And you're not allowed to move them now.
So health and safety back then was a bit rudimentary?
No, I wouldn't say that. It was proper.
Okay. All right.
It was proper stuff. No, I think the idea is that it was just... It was the group of people that were there. I think it's been mentioned, loads of stuff has been mentioned about the fact of like-minded people coming together. And yeah, I think whatever it was, we set that, whether it was Sophie or Charlotte or Ben, set as a task, and there was nobody said no, and I think quite a number of people started doing things like, what am I doing? it was crazy times to some extent. I also remember the fact that we never really. I think we started at the Cracker Sparrows and finished around about sort of as it went dark. And I also remember lunch it'll be at 12. It's nearly ready at 2. I'm sure it'll be ready by 3. Well, we might have. And everybody carried on. It was an amazing. Well, not that it's that different now. I think the ethos is still there. The ethos and the family feeling is still there.
There are 2 volunteers I want to mention this evening who sadly can no longer be with us. One is Alex Nunn and the other is Chris Tither. And I think you worked with one or both of them, didn't you?
Myself, yes. Chris was a sort of, I don't know. Chris used to join us sometimes within the youth project and give the young people the benefit of his vast experience, some of which I quite enjoyed and some of which I wished he hadn't bothered with. But Chris was a character and a half, and I certainly remember there was a young man who came to, I think I was working with him when I used to work with social services, and Ben let him come and work on the farm, and Chris said to me that he looked at this pair of hands working next to him, and he said, well, if I didn't know who it was, I'd say this young man had been doing, this for years. And I think that's exactly how it's always gone on. That's why the youth project flourishes. And Alec, as well, as I think the idea being, I think the thing for me is not only do we sit on his chair now when I used to bring young people here when I used to work for social services.
Yeah.
His bench, sorry.
Yeah.
But, I remember him saying that we were going to go and do some green woodworking, and he went down to the woods and bought some hazel up and showed me how to show the young people how to make walking sticks. So that epitomises exactly how everybody helps everybody else.
What's your favourite place on the farm, Ellie? Where do you like to go and hide away or secrete yourself?
When I'm able to walk with my sticks, I like to go and sit in the copse at the front and just sit and be really, really quiet, and nobody knows I'm there hiding away. They do now, obviously. But
we'll all be following you.
That's my little hiding space. And also I love, if there's nobody in the yurts, I like to go and stand and just be really quiet in front of the yurts and just see how far Fordhall has come over the last 10 years.
And you can admire the toilet that Mike made.
Yes, it's beautiful. Stunning. Piece of woodmanship.
This was part of the youth project, wasn't it, the compost toilet? And what's next to it?
Yeah, I think the thing for me is the fact that if you're sitting in the office and you think, right, this is what we're going to plan for the day, then you have to be careful what you wish for, because somebody who's not that far away from us said, well, wouldn't it be nice if we had a shower? So a shower we've got. But yeah, I think it is, but nobody says no. You just go ahead and do it.
So it's a can-do place.
Pardon?
It's a can-do.
It is an absolute can-do place. Yeah.
So have you found yourself doing things you weren't expecting, Ellie, when you became a volunteer here, working behind the bar, serving food?
Yeah, well, I don't do a lot of serving behind the bar. That's Rob's job. He'd kill me if I tried to take over that job. But I started joining Maz and Charlotte Britten, who is now Charlotte something else, and in the kitchen, and now I do the catering for the volunteers, and I find myself just trying to give people good food to keep going over the weekend, keep them warm.
And finally, Mike, you've certainly found yourself doing something you never thought you'd do, because we can now reveal it is gone 10 o'clock at night, so the kiddies will all be in bed. Mike actually is Father Christmas.
But I will say that there was an occasion, maybe it was our first Christmas, and there wasn't an awful lot of people there. So you and I went down. Sophie, did we? Wait, pardon? It was cold, but also we went down to the road because there wasn't an awful lot of people, and then waved at all the traffic. And we got loads and loads.
What, dressed as Father Christmas?
Truckers. Oh, we dressed as Father Christmas, obviously. And loads of truckers tooting at us, which seemed a bit really quite bizarre, really. I think we did get a few customers after that. Not truckers, I understand, obviously.
I think that sums up Fordhall Farm. Bizarre things happen at Fordhall and nobody bats an eyelid, do they?
They do, okay. Yes.
Will you please give a very big thank you to Ellie and to Mike. Just stay there. So it was 10 years ago this very morning that we did it, and this last collection of video clips is entitled We Did It.
When you and Ben came back from uni.
Yeah, and it was just like we had to save the farm and we had to fight to keep a tenancy. And we kind of put this vision together of where we want to see the farm in like 10, 20, 30 years time, what we wanted to do, and that was to open up to the public and do the educational things there. But it was never kind of, it was just seemed like, yeah, that's what we're going to do, so obviously we're going to fight to save it, so obviously we're going to open a farm shop, so obviously, but why is that obvious at all?
I mean, we've learned. This is like so huge. This is like some kids trying to raise nearly £1 million to save a farm.
Okay, how much do you think we've raised through the post since the beginning of the campaign?
Shares and donations and everything?
And loans, everything.
I think
What did you make before?
this is without the bank loan.
Yes.
600,000.
Okay.
Yeah. Where is it? Shit! Oh my god! 712.
Plus PayPal.
876.
Eight?
Plus
Where is it?
712,876 pounds 33p. Plus PayPal. So PayPal will be at least 80 grand.
So we've done it without a bank loan.
We've done it.
I just couldn't sleep, so I got up, and it was it started to become daylight. It's 3:30, so I got up and went out for a walk around outside.
Did you?
Then like 4, I got hungry, so I got some bacon out the shop, made a bacon butty, and sat and watched telly for a little bit. Then I fell asleep for about half an hour, and then they turned up on the sofa. And they were here, and then Radio Shropshire rang up at God knows what time this morning to get the scoop on the story, so they couldn't put it on. So I told them, and they said, "Oh, we'll put it on straight away. Change the news items. It goes out in a couple of minutes." And we did. Tighten up, kid.
It's too early for this.
Right, where are the glasses?
Daisy's still got a home, but there's still much more work to be done. The next stage is building a tea rooms and educational facilities for school children. Arthur Hollins would have been extremely proud. Philippa Thompson, ITV Central News.
A toast to Arthur!
Yeah.
Toast to Arthur!
Toast to
Hi, Charlotte. Well done, you lot.
Fantastic stuff. We did it. We did it 10 years ago this very morning. We're running out of time because we have a band to join us, so we'll move on to the song in just a moment, if that's all right. You've got plenty of chance to talk to Charlotte, Ben and Sophie as the evening progresses. Little message for Ellie. Congratulations on 10 years, guys, from Tara Kirkland. And I have a long message from Dagmar Kay, who is, I believe, in Germany. I met Charlotte working as a carer. She asked me to translate a story about Arthur and his passion about Ford Hall Farm from German into English. This caught the interest of my then boyfriend Mike. Especially Mike got very involved in helping the Hollins family. We left England in 2004, but we followed every step. It still amazes me how far you have come. I love the word Charlotte uses so often, move forward. So congratulations to Charlotte, Ben and Sophie and all the volunteers and shareholders. Your passion is inspirational. 19 minutes ago. Well done to Dagmar. Two more things to do, and then we have a fantastic band to come and play for you for a while. Do you want to know the result of the Wales-Belgium match, or are you all... Wales 3, Belgium 1. Come around, Bith. Okay. I didn't know she spoke Belgian. We have one more thing to do for our viewers around the world before we part. And this is the Ford Hall 10th anniversary song. And it has a chorus. In fact, it has two choruses. But in true Ford Hall style, the choruses are very simple because Ford Hall shareholders like it that way. The two words of the chorus are together and Ford Hall. And when I raise my left arm, you simply sing together. Shall we try it after 3? 1, 2, 3. Together. This is the Pet Shop Boys. You may recognise this. And the right arm, Ford Hall, Ford Hall, Ford Hall. So together, Ford Hall. This is going to be done without a rehearsal. We can run a farm full of joy and charm. We're a happy brood, growing healthy food. Ford Hall, where there's no panic. Ford Hall, 'cause we've learnt the trick. Ford Hall, life is so basic. Ford Hall, when you're organic. Together, we can dance a jig. Together, with Ben's Gloucester pigs. Together, and their muck we'll dig. Together, we've got a real shindig. Ford Hall, we will all crusade. Ford Hall, with a towel and spade. Ford Hall, we'll biodegrade. Ford Hall, that's how history's made. That last line about biodegrading is for those of us over 50 these days, okay? Together, we can build boardwalks. Together, to watch the herons stalk. Together, planting lots of trees. Together, for the birds and bees. Ford Hall, where we welcome schools. Ford Hall, teach eternal rules. Ford Hall, to the children who'll. Ford Hall, never grow up fools. Ford Hall, together, for Charlotte changed that word. Together, for our fellow man. Together, we'll do all we can. Together, to protect the land. Together, that's what Arthur planned. Ford Hall, for our fellow man. Ford Hall, we'll do all we can. Ford Hall, to protect the land. Ford Hall, that's what Arthur planned. Ford Hall. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed for staying with us for so long. There's cake going round and a fantastic band called Famous Last Words will come and entertain you after a short comfort break. Many thanks for your attention and for being so good. Oh, and, oh right. Since we started broadcasting, we've been joined by viewers in Japan, the Philippines, Russia and the USA. Ford Hall, Community Land, International. Yeah. Thank you very much. And good night all over the world.
Yes.